not a knockout blow, but boom, ooh, yeah, that one's gonna bruise a little bit. That one,
Yeah, it hurts a little bit.
I'm a
Um,
fan, dude.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? KCE, King Chaka.
Smart man.
yeah, I recently discovered this guy, Damon Imani. He does these parody type videos, and they are hilarious and entertaining to me. Let's play this one right here.
I think what's really shocking about this is the way he kind of just walks right into Moscow and presents himself on a silver platter to the Kremlin, doing the Kremlin's job of misinforming, disinforming the American population.
Wait a minute, Julia.
Putin,
the only group shocked by what an independent journalist like Tucker is doing is the corrupt establishment propaganda media and activists like you. Now, just like our own politicians, Putin is not an innocent guy. But it's obvious that you're just mad that with the Tucker interview, he will be able to present his side of the story. I mean, the war has gone on for 2 years. People are dying. And y'all only care about sending more taxpayers' money to Ukraine to continue the war, which only causes more people to die. So if you had just a bit of integrity, you would be interested in this interview instead of calling it misinforming and disinforming the American population like a fucking NPC you are.
I think
It would have been so great that if this was real. This was a real clip from CNN, but he inserted himself into the clip.
Yeah. He's been popping up on one of my. He's been popping up on one of my things too. He does a lot of these.
Yeah. So,
and
but he made
I don't agree
really
with a lot of them, but he's definitely funny with most of them.
Yeah. So, but here he made a really great point too. He really did. And what did they say at the beginning? The spin that they put on this. Hold on.
I think what's really shocking about this is the way he kind of just walks right into Moscow and presents himself on a silver platter to the Kremlin, doing the Kremlin's job of misinforming, disinforming the American population.
So yeah, and that's what a lot of the media is saying about the Tucker interview, is that Tucker's allowing a platform for Putin to misinform and disinform the American people.
Dude,
you know,
let me explain something to all those people that think that Tucker has any real control over this. He was only able to show the interview that the government said that it's okay. That the CIA and FBI said, yes, this is okay. He's got limits. He's got to work. He's not doing any disinformation. He's showing the interview that he can, but there were questions he was not allowed to ask, questions that he couldn't ask, and there were things said during that interview that were misinterpreted a little bit. Because if you remember the table knocking, you're not going to tell me that the words that the translators said matched that body language and those gestures.
I always wonder about that every time. I hate that.
You know the spot I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We played it earlier. And so, but yeah, I always wonder about that. Whenever they're doing those translations, if you don't know the language, then how do you know that they're actually saying that what they're saying, that what the translator is saying that they're saying? I always have a problem with that.
That's one. I'm in Spanish. I can pick up every 6 or 8 words. In Russian, I can only pick out maybe 1 in 20 words.
Yeah, I wish I understood more languages, because being that I understand Spanish so much, I can hear sometimes some stuff is hard to translate.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. Some stuff gets lost in translation.
Okay, here's the deal though. Russian is not part. See, I know a little bit of Latin, And because of that, I can sit there and I can get some good comprehension of most European languages, Spanish, all that kind of stuff. But Russia is based off of a different language base.
Yeah.
And they don't, and without a knowledge of like their basic mother tongue, like ours would be, the Romance languages would be Latin. Um, I only understand what I know because of what I've translated from my Dungeons and Dragons games and stuff like that.
Well, back to this, it's like what I think the media, the Western media really has a problem with Tucker Carlson's interview is because it's harder for them to control the narrative when they have the actual words coming out of Putin's mouth with these straight up questions. You know, it's hard for them to spin that, you know, like the part where Putin was saying, you know, what Ben, y'all have stuff going on in y'all country. Y'all have y'all deficit issues. You got your border issues and stuff. Why are y'all so concerned with what the hell's going on in Ukraine? Like that was some fair ass shit to say. And I'm sure those comments were kind of some of the stuff that the mainstream media doesn't want the American people to be thinking in that way. You know what I mean? Because that goes against their narrative of making it seem like what's going on in Ukraine is so important to us here in the United States.
Offhand, I'm thinking about the couple of future tech metals that they have available, how much crude oil they have, natural gas. You know, that may have something to do with it. The biolabs that we built there, because we can do experiments over there since they don't have to follow the same laws.
But still,
as here, just like we hired out to the let's just say the one that had us all up choked up 4 or 5 years ago. You know, there's all kinds of reasons.
Yeah, but still, the priorities, the triage. You know, what's important? What do we need to deal with now? Like America first, like American people, like. You know, how high on the list, like as far as the regular, normal American, how much is that stuff going to affect them? You know?
Right now, too many people have pronouns as a priority over pride. They've got which bathroom you want, we need to allow boys to play in women's sports. Is more interesting than spending abroad and using that money the same way the corporates did and buying back our national debt. That way we pay less interest, less money every year, and can use that same expenditure, split it in half to take care of problems in our own backyard and take the other half of it and do the trickle down. You know, that's what the corporates taught us when we let them trickle down, right? Yeah. Spend 20% on building up your business instead of the 40% like you used to. Spend 10, 15% and take all the rest of it and buy back your corporation. Now, what if America started doing that? We would, you know, and then go out every now and then and take $1 billion and burn it. Remove it from the cash supply.
Yes. And bring up the value of the dollar.
Absolutely. These are all easy ways to do it. They're easy. We need more money in the government. Okay. Instead of spending like the border bill, $74 billion between Ukraine and Israel was thrown into the southern border bill. Now, what if instead we take that money and buy back $84 billion of foreign debt, people that have loaned us money, and we're paying interest on?
Right.
Now, that may seem like a lot of money to spend, but, you know,
It's kind of like putting money in your credit cards because you paying your money back, like you giving yourself money. That's how I look at it. When you pay down your credit cards, you are giving yourself more money to spend, if you will. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're paying yourself.
No, this is when you're actually tightening your belt. Instead of using that money to buy new shit, which is what they do, and throw more money at crazy programs, throw it at the debt. That way, less of our money goes to other people and more of it can come back to America.
Yeah, but it's all about, I think money laundering is the biggest part related to the money going to like Ukraine and other places. You know, the military industrial complex. A lot of that money is just money laundering, more corruption.
Well, see, everyone's all wondering why everything got crazy because they put more money in the system. If the bottom 1% only get 1%, that means all of that money in 20 years, in one generation, 60% or more, actually probably half of that money is going to be out of the 1%. And then in another generation, it's going to be 20% of that money. And then you're going to have even a further difference between the rich and the poor.
Yeah, so the debt thing is a thing. I want to play his little response again because it's hilarious to me. The end where he called him an NPC. Oh my God, I wish that was real. And it actually happened.
Wait a minute, Julia. The only group shocked by what an independent journalist like Tucker is doing is the corrupt establishment propaganda media and activists like you. Now, just like our own politicians, Putin is not an innocent guy. But it's obvious that you're just mad that with the Tucker interview, he will be able to present his side of the story. I mean, the war has gone on for 2 years. People are dying. And y'all only care about sending more taxpayers' money to Ukraine to continue the war, which only causes more people to die. So if you had just a bit of integrity, you would be interested in this interview instead of calling it misinforming and disinforming the American population like a fucking NPC you are.
They made it look like that they kicked him out or whatever. It's so perfect, you know, and that the argument he made is great. And it's like, yes, they don't really care about the Ukrainian people, man. Look at Ukraine. It's freaking destroyed, man. Look how many people have died and they continue to die. Like, if they really cared about the Ukrainians, I mean, it sucks. It sucks. I'm not picking a side. I'm just saying the destruction of Ukraine is continuing. And
dude, it's like in Gaza, someone was sitting there going, oh, well, there were snipers giving a problem to an Israeli group. And I'm like, that's not possible. There aren't even buildings left high enough in Gaza to freaking snipe from.
well, you don't have to have a high.
I know. It was a joke.
He's got another one right here. GOP is doing fine. He says, breaking, Senator Langford's office releases statement after backlash on border bill. Again, people understand that this is like parody.
We are happy to announce that just days ago, Senator Langford released a bill that would allow 5,000 people a day to legally enter the United States illegally. The bill would allow 5,000 illegal immigrants a day to enter the country. That's 1.8 million illegals a year, by the way. You got that part wrong. Yeah, just so we know, it's illegal immigrants, not legal immigrants. Let's just move on from this one. To make sure that America is safe, Senator Langford's bill also forces a second Trump term to take in illegal immigrants. Now you're just making it worse. The whole illegal thing is it's right on the bill. I don't know, man. This party is obviously not doing well. Let's just move on from the whole illegal immigrant stuff. What is next? Senator Langford always puts America and Americans first. That's why this bill also provides $60 million to the American people, Ukraine. The bill secures $60 million fund to Ukraine. That's a kind of big difference, America, Ukraine. Langford. Oh, it's Langford. I'm not sure what we're doing here anyway, so who gives a fuck?
I don't know, man. I mean, you get the politics. It's really pretty funny to me. He's like, Ukraine, Americans. It's like, there's a difference there. Let's do this right
Is
quick.
a beacon to the world. America is a beacon to the world.